Hi, I'm Chris Young, and welcome to Good News on Tap for the 13th Sunday of Ordinary Time. The first reading today from the Book of Wisdom starts out with these amazing words. God did not make death. Now, I don't know if I've never read that passage before, or for some reason it didn't strike me the way it did this time, but that's an amazing statement. God did not make death. It seems contrary to two different things, which we've always assumed to obviously be true. One of them is the idea that God made everything, and the second idea is death is inevitable. Okay, so maybe that sentence is stretching it a little bit. God really did make everything, and he did make death in some respects. Death was there for us to choose through sin. God gave us the choice to live or die. So when the Book of Wisdom says God did not make death, what they're really saying is that it was not God's original intention that we should die. Death was not part of Plan A. Adam and Eve were supposed to live forever, and the Book of Wisdom reminds us of this fact a verse or two later, when it says, "For God formed us to be imperishable. The image of his own nature he made us." Death was not only not inevitable, it was not intended as the natural course of things. Yet those are the exact words we often use to describe death, the natural course of things. Wisdom tells us that it was through the devil and sin that death entered the world. In the Gospel this week, we have two stories. One is of a woman who was healed after 12 years of hemorrhaging. The other is the story of a man who came to Jesus because his daughter was ill, and by the end of the story, they believed that the daughter had died. It was through the faith of this father and the faith of the ill woman that each of them were healed. They were certain that Jesus had the power to save their lives. Through these healings and many others, we see the concepts from the Book of Wisdom earlier lived out in Jesus' actions. Wisdom says God does not rejoice in the destruction of the living. God made us to live, and he found a way that we can live with him forever, despite the fact that death did enter the world, and at least temporarily, death is inevitable. But death has no more power over us, because through the resurrection of Jesus, we too can rise to a new life. And why do we have the hope of resurrection? Because we know that death is not part of God's original plan. God did not make death. And that's Good News on Tap for the 13th Sunday of Ordinary Time.